guys. Thank you guys for coming out to Omaha. You're going to see some local comedians from the Omaha area giving you their best 7 minutes. Is everyone excited? I'm excited. I don't know if you can smell the Council Bluffs on me, but I was born and raised. I was raised by my grandparents, so I'm a different breed than most of them over there. My grandparents did an okay job at best. They were done raising kids, and then they just had to raise me. So, which means they lied to me all the time to try to that's how they raised me. They lied to try to teach me things, and it just backfired left and right. Did anyone else's parents ever do that to them? Just lie blatantly to a child's face? It wasn't that they didn't have it coming either. I did things that were wrong. They went to work in the morning, and I had to get up, and I had to do my own things. So they'd get up, and they'd feed me, make sure I had my clothes on, and then they'd leave and go to work. And my only job was to lock the door and close the door. She's already laughing. She's already had this argument with her kids. That was it. And I screwed that up too many times. 2 steps, lock, close. I'd either leave it locked and open, which didn't do anything, or I'd close it, wouldn't lock it. I came home one day, and my grandma was just sitting there, and she looked disappointed. Met me at the door, and I'm like, Grandma, what's going on? She's like, well, Don, you didn't lock the door, and someone broke in and stole all of your stuff. I was like, what do you mean they stole all of our stuff? She's like, no, they just stole your stuff. I was like, I don't understand. She's like, well, your Nintendo that you had plugged into the front TV? I'm like, yeah. She's like, it's gone. I'm like, they didn't take the TV? She's like, they left the TV there. She's like, all of your clothes are gone. You've only got what you've got on right now. I'm like, I don't, what? And she's like, you're going to have to wash those clothes every day. We don't have money to buy you new ones. We go to eat dinner that night. My grandma's like, Don, they stole your plate. I don't know if you've ever seen a grandma's countertop, but they just do a once-over. That's all they do. If it's stuck more than one time can get it, it's part of the table now. And my grandma's like, you're just going to have to eat on this, and took some macaroni and just blam right on the tabletop. I'm sitting there, I got macaroni in my hand, I'm crying, I'm hot dog in the other, I'm just raw dogging a hot dog in my hand, crying, they stole my plate. I go to turn on the TV. She figured out how to block the Cartoon Network channel, and she's like, Don, they stole the cartoons off the TV. But it backfired. I learned every day I'd make sure to close that door and lock it. Never failed from that point on. And about 2 weeks later, they started buying stuff that looked like all of my old stuff. I go to school a couple weeks later, and some kid's wanting to fight me and steal my bike. And I'm like, go ahead and steal my bike. I'm going to break into your house and steal the cartoons off your TV. Hey, you guys have been great. Are you guys ready to get this started? All right, your guys' first comic coming to the stage. Please give it up for Rome Dailey.
I don't know why I'm fake smiling at people. Why do you do that when you feel the need to, you pass somebody that you are familiar with or aren't familiar with? You always fake smile, I'm not doing any jokes tonight. Can I just talk to you guys? It's always such an awkward thing. This is always such an awkward thing. You guys come out to a comedy show, essentially, but it's a comedy taping. We're going to be on TV. Hello, hi, I made it. But, but loosen the damn up. You know what I mean? All of my bar cuss words are going to be substituted with damn, because that's what I can say, okay? So damn it. You know what I mean? Sure. I came out here straight from work, and I've been dealing with people who take CBD all day. Authors, athletes, and old people. 2 of the 3 I respect. Except old authors and athletes. I don't want to hear anything you have to say, all right? Unless you got some drugs in your suitcase, But we're not talking about drugs. This is Nebraska, and I'm not trying to get arrested. I drive a crossover utility vehicle, but I just bought a Cadillac. And it's an old Cadillac, too. Still has the emblem on the hood. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, don't you? This guy knows what I mean. Got the the gray beard coming in. I bought that shirt at Target a couple weeks ago too, sir. If I was a white guy, I would be you. Please don't. Oh man, this is the point where you always find out something about yourself on stage. That's the only good thing about comedy, is finding something out about yourself on stage, pushing your boundaries and getting to find out what you can do and what you can't do. Now, I've been looking at you in the eye this whole time because I'm very insecure about my shoes. Not now, my shit banging now. But just in general, I have to have fresh kicks on, you know what I mean? Unless they're Chuck Taylors, you want those somethings, ran through the mud 3 or 4 times. You want it to look like you jumped a fenceman and run through the cops, you've been on live PD and all that jazz, you know what I mean? I want it to look like you've been attacked by a hyena, a wolf, and a Great Dane at the same time. I never trust a man that has clean Chuck Taylors. Holler if you hear me. Whew. All right. I still haven't looked down yet. You look like an older, successful man, you know what I mean? You probably drive a Subaru. This looks like a lobby of a Subaru dealership, by the way. I feel like somebody's gonna come in with refreshments and wedding mints and be like, hey, how's it going? Have you tried the new 2019 Forester? All right, on the count of 3, I'm gonna look down and I'm gonna see your shoes. Because just like how older men don't like going to the doctor, we just have to do it. On the count of 3, I'm gonna do it, okay? And if I'm not gonna hold back, like I've made something out of you now, so if it happens, it happens. Bro, they don't even have laces though, like. Dang, you made this real. This is what I have to look forward to. I thought I had my old guy swag pretty down, you know what I mean? Like, I'm set for the next 30 years. I don't got to buy a damn thing. But this gentleman comes along and just crushes everything I believe. 6th grade me would kick my ass, you know what I mean? 6th grade me was poor as damn, though. 6th grade me's roaches had roaches. 6th grade me's roaches had off-brand cereal. That's how poor we were growing up. Just walk around poor with bootleg FUBU clothes and taking trips to the jail on the weekends. Just poor as hell, you know what I mean? Anybody grow up poor in here by round of applause? Oh, it's such a polite applause, you know what I mean? And if I said, anybody grow up rich in here? They'd be, yeah, we did, we're on cocaine right now. Anybody grow up rich in here? Who was it? Who's gonna finance my next creative endeavor? Certainly I'm not gonna. See, this is the problem with Omaha. If we were in Austin, Texas right now, shout out to Austin, Texas, you would be the rich one, right? Food trucks, Longhorns, you know what I mean? But this is Omaha. You're the rich one. For sure. Gray hair, wire rim glasses, you're the rich one for sure, right? So say I have this idea, okay? In which it's like a holiday gift thing, okay? In which you would be close. This is gonna sound like a swinger's proposal. What the hell am I? Well, now that I've softened the blow, let's just talk real, okay? Say my friend has a birthday coming up, and I know that my friend likes to be choked with a belt. We went there, yeah. It's not all the time that he gets choked with this belt by his girlfriend, but on a special occasion, through this app, I can send her $75 and I said, hey, choke the damn out of this man tonight. You understand what I'm saying? No, because that's sex trafficking, isn't it? Sex, that's how you know I'm not a sex trafficker. My voice quaked when I said trafficking. Because I'm not built to go to jail, you know? Can't do that, I'm sorry, forget the app idea. If anybody has any app ideas that can kind of cleanse the palate, I'd appreciate hearing them now on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, no? You got, this is Omaha. If this were Austin, you'd be rich and we have 50,000 ideas right now, and I would take 10% and we'd all be good, you know what I mean? But now I have to confess about how I'm not built to go to jail. Look at these hands. No calluses on these hands. It's just lemon zest and face wash, baby. I'm not built to go to jail. I'm built to go to brunch, feel me? Only bars I want serve mimosas, girls. I grew up in an alcoholic family. Anybody else? Yeah. I grew up in an alcoholic family, but it was one of those cute alcoholic families. Like, on a regular basis, my stepdad would come home drunk, tiptoe to the kitchen 2 o'clock in the morning, and just take a piss in the dishwasher. Only messed up part about it was we didn't like him when he was sober. When he was sober, we caught him by himself weeping, watching Indian in the cupboard. My mom had to sit him down. She's like, look, dude, you can't be around us if you're going to be sober all the time. Trying to raise boys in the 90s here, you know? For that reason, I'm not having kids. When I do finally get a baby mama, I'm also going to get a face tattoo, just so my son doesn't know he's the biggest mistake I ever made. That's my time. Thank you very much. Don Seager, ladies and gentlemen.
Give it up for Rome Dailey. You're up here looking all like 12 years old, like, why do people like to get choked with belts? I don't know. You guys ready for your next comic? All right, your next comic runs a monthly open mic at the Eagles Club. Please give it up for Casey Eastwood.
Well, I've got to confess to you. The other day, I smoked weed for the first time in 40 years. I was born in the 50s. I grew up in the 60s and 70s. And I'll tell you what, in 40 years, weed has elevated to a new high. I got so high that when I got home, I started watching movies with dinosaurs. And after the third movie, I could tell you who was using real dinosaurs. And then I retired from the military not too long ago. And one of the things they did 90 days before I retired, they took my desk away from me. They stuck me in the supply closet, gave me a couple of those 2-drawer filing cabinets, threw a board on there, threw a phone on there, gave me a folding chair, but not just any folding chair. They gave me a padded folding chair. And then they told me, they says, whatever you do for the next 90 days, do not get into trouble. All we want you to do is just kind of advise our young airmen, give them some advice, give them the right direction. Well, one day, an airman walked into my office / supply closet, and he says, Sergeant, I'm getting married in a week, and I'm really nervous about my honeymoon. And I go, well, what are you worried about? And he goes, well, I just don't know what I'm going to do on my honeymoon night. And I says, well, don't worry about it. When you're laying there in bed with her, just rub her tummy and say, I love you, and she'll know what to do from there. Well, I run into this young airman about 3 weeks later, and I asked him, I says, so how'd it go? He goes, Sergeant, I did exactly what you said. I was laying there in bed, I rubbed her tummy, and I said, I love you. She goes, lower. And I go, I love you. Now that I've officially retired from the military, and I have all this time on my hands I'm trying to entertain as if comedy's not enough, I want to work in a restaurant one day a year on Valentine's Day, because I'm going to go out and buy all the imitation diamond rings I can find, and I want to be a food server. So when I walk out there, yeah, he knows where I'm going with this. He's probably had it happen to him. So when I walk out there and I put your food down, and you guys, and I put that diamond ring on your date's plate, and she's all excited and says, oh, it's about time, I love you, this is the greatest day of my life. And I want to watch you explain to her that that diamond ring is not for her. And not only that, why is it a phony diamond ring? No, I love my coffee. I really like my coffee. And I don't like to go to coffee shops, but I like to grind my own beans, and I love the aroma and the smell. I was out buying some coffee one day, and I noticed this bag of coffee. It had shroom powder in it. So I pick up the bag, and I'm reading it, and it says, each cup is magical. Okay, well, sounds good to me, so I buy this coffee. One morning, I'm having a really, really tough morning. So I decide I'm going to make a pot of this coffee. Well, I get into this coffee 2 cups, and my bad morning went to totally awesome. In fact, it was the greatest morning that I think I've ever had, because I took off all my clothes, I went outside, I was running around naked. My lady comes out, she's yelling at me, "Get back in here. The neighbors already know you're crazy, now they can see your nuts." So I go inside the house, I close the door, there's a knock at the door. I open the door, and it's 2 police officers. And I'm still naked, because I don't care. They're looking me up and down. Now, they didn't take me to jail. They wrote me a ticket. Now, the ticket wasn't for indecent exposure. It was for inadequate exposure. Then, waterbeds. I was 13 years old when waterbeds were the big rage, and my parents had to have one. And one night I was in my bedroom, and I forgot to close my bedroom door. And I'm laying there, and I think my parents thought everybody was asleep in the house. All of a sudden, I can hear this swishing noise. Shoo, shoo. It's the waterbed wave going back and forth. And as a 13-year-old boy, I should not have heard some of the sounds I came out of that bedroom that night. So I pulled the covers over my head, and I'm just praying, "Oh, Lord, take me now. Take me." Finally, the noise stops, and I pull the covers down off my head, and I see some movement out of the corner of my eye. And I turn and I look, and it's my dad running down the hallway, only wearing a smile, an eye patch, and a pirate's hat. And that traumatized me so bad that I have not seen a single Peter Pan movie to this day, okay? And how about mirrors? Remember the mirrors on the ceilings back then? They put mirrors above the bed. That used to be the big rage. Well, when I first got married, I had those mirrors on my ceiling. And I finally had to take those mirrors down, because I got tired of waking up every morning looking at a naked skydiver coming at me. And then buying condoms in the 70s. This was quite the deal, because condoms were actually sold in a pharmacy, and you had to talk to the pharmacist. So I go walking into the pharmacy, and I ask the pharmacist, I go, "I need a box of condoms." And he goes, "Well, what kind do you want? We have dry and we have lube." I go, "Well, I'll take lube, because, there's nothing too good for my ladies, right?" So he puts the box on the counter, and he goes, "That will be $4.95 plus tax." And I'm, "Tax? What do you mean tax? I thought they stayed on by themselves." Hey, you guys have been a great audience. Hey, let's give it up to our host, Don Seager. Thank you.
Casey Eastwood, everybody. The whole time Casey was talking about condoms, the other 13-year-old was very uncomfortable. Are you guys ready for your final comic for this evening? Yeah. Please give it up for one half of I-29 Productions, Matthew Blevins.
All right, guys, I kind of figure it's not a party until a mediocre bearded white man brings a guitar out. So let's get this party started. I've been secretly smelling every microphone I've used to perform comedy. Not one of them has ever smelled like a beer. Billy Joel is full of shit, you guys. This microphone smells like Don Seager's breath, which is pretty typical for Council Bluffs. It's off-brand pizza rolls and methamphetamines. I'm doing my comedy a little bit differently tonight because I'm from Nebraska and we have to do things differently here in Nebraska. So, like for instance, if you can hit a country road stop sign with a cinnamon whiskey bottle at 60 miles an hour, you instantly become mayor of that small Nebraska town. I call that small Nebraska town. Thank you. All right. My house has been clean for the first time in about a year or two. I feel like you're all judging me for that, but we have 4 kids at home, and it looks like a FEMA disaster relief area most of the time. But I had a dinner party with some stand-up comedians last week, and my kids started cleaning the house from top to bottom like some weird obsessed meth addict freaks. When I asked my kids why they were cleaning the house so thoroughly, they told me it was because they were excited because today they get to meet real stand-up comedians. My kids are assholes. I got them back though. I told them that Kevin Hart is coming over in 2 weeks. They're at home drywalling the upstairs bathroom right now. My kids, they think they're funny. They're constantly coming to me with joke ideas. They're like, Dad, you gotta try this on stage. My 9-year-old comes up to me, he says, hey, Dad, what does my shirt say? I said, I don't know, buddy, SpongeBob SquarePants? And he's like, nope. It says applesauce. That was my 9-year-old son's joke, and you're all assholes for not laughing at it. I thought it was funny. He said the best part about that joke, Dad, is it works with any shirt that has words on it. Unless your shirt says applesauce, then you can't do comedy anymore. I went to my 13-year-old daughter's room and said, hey, do you have a joke idea for me? She looked me in the eyes and she said, I don't know, Dad, your comedy career's kind of a joke, and slammed the door in my face. 13-year-olds are savages. That song was called My Kids Are Assholes. Oh man, I'm lucky I made it here. I came up here from Nebraska City, and my car started making a weird noise on the way up here. So I don't know what you do when your car starts making a weird noise, but I turn my radio up until I can't hear it anymore. But it's hard to take it easy when you're afraid your transmission is about to be dust in the wind. On a long and lonesome highway east of Omaha. The 13-year-olds just judged me for the ages of those songs. But that's the only station that comes in on my shitty 2008 Kia Spectra car radio. But one thing you can't fix with your radio is if the muffler falls off of the bottom of the car and starts dragging on the ground. But my mom taught me a fix for this. Just drive through the trailer park and go over all the speed bumps until the muffler rips out of the bottom of the car. And then you just leave it there for someone else to deal with. I'm getting old. I don't know if your back is supposed to hurt in the middle of a comedy set, but that's how old I am right now. I figure I'm only 39 years old, but I figure every time you've used a piece of plain white bread as a hot dog bun, you add a minute to your age. So in white trash years, I'm 63. Probably wouldn't be so bad if I took better care of myself, but I kind of treat this thing like a high school kid treats the '89 Chrysler LeBaron that they hate driving. And my body's check engine light came on 20,000 miles ago. I'm also a Cub Scout leader, you guys. I got a couple of woos and a couple of concerned faces. Like, I don't know this guy, I've only seen him for 7 minutes, but I don't think he should be teaching our kids about things, and you're probably right. I think my bank account is overdrawn right now. But I can teach kids important things too, like how far you can drive a 2008 Kia Spectra with the fuel light on. Or how far you can overdraft your bank account before your ATM card stops working. Kids should know these things. But I made a mistake. I told one of the other scout dads in Nebraska City that I was thinking of trying veganism. And in Nebraska City, that's all they needed to hear to start a rumor that we have a gay scout leader now. I'm not, but everybody's been super cool about it. So I'm afraid if I come out as straight, I'll single-handedly set back social progress in that town by 10 years. We don't have that kind of wiggle room. Plus, I think one of the dads is kind of into me. And I want to see where that goes. I heard that guy knows how to work on cars. Gonna try some broke hatchback mountain. Thank you all for coming out tonight. I appreciate your laughs and joy. Give it up for your host, Don Seager, and have a beautiful rest of your night.
Matt Blevins, everybody. We be asking how he knows what my breath smells like, and that's because he keeps trying to kiss me all the time. I gotta tell him no, our beards will get tangled. It'll be weird. You guys had a great time in Omaha? Thank you guys for coming out. Give it a round of applause for all the comics you saw tonight. We will see you guys next time.